way from Perth, who is from Camera Electronic, who are the sponsors of the travel category today.
Thank you.
Where are you? Is that number one? You just need to see that's number one. You just test on it first.
Hello? Is it okay?
No, it's this one.
Go. Sure, I'm in there. You're on now. Oh, cool. Hi, guys. Thanks for having me again. Camera Electronics very proud to be associated with APPA in 2017 again. This is our third year of sponsoring the travel category nationally. We've done state and WA for a long time. We're a second generation family business from Perth. We've got 2 stores there and also an online store, cameraelectronic.com.au. Happy to ship for free anywhere for APPA members. And we've got a stand over here as well. We'd love to see, and good luck for all the images. Hope to see lots of gold. Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much, Howard, and Camera Electronic. So on behalf of us all at AIPP, I'd like to say a huge thank you for your sponsorship and support of the APPA and AIPP in general. I'd also like to acknowledge thank Olympus, Aon and Panasonic as platinum sponsors of APPA. Your support of this event is very much appreciated. Okay, what I want to do is invite the following judges up to the panel, please. Can I have Phil Kuravita, Nick Giannis, Gary Greenwich, Jackie Rankin and Kelly Tunney, please.
No, that's not the thing here.
No, we'll have to, okay, so we need to change.
Got some cloth, Sam,
Do you
for,
want
what,
to put those
for your dad?
Nick, no, because they're not all
He wet
here.
himself.
Okay, so Nick's in number one. So that's right. Peter is Peter Rossi in there? Phil, who's behind you, please? Is that Peter Rossi?
And Richard's over there. Richard, can you sit on the front row so we know you're
Who
there?
we got?
Who are you looking for? Number two? That's Phil
Phil.
Karavidas. Phil Karavidas. Yep, that's it.
And you got Jackie Rankin,
Jackie Rankin.
which you probably know.
No, you missed this person in the centre.
Oh,
No, that
that's
person's
the wrong one. That's
Oh, sorry, Gary Cranich.
Gary.
He's double.
Oh,
He's a double up. Yep, that's it.
Jackie.
And last
then
with Kelly
Kelly
Tunney.
Tunney. Okay, we're about to start the travel category. Judges we've got in place, we've got Nick Giannis, Phil Kuravita, Gary Cranich, Jackie Rankin and Kelly Tunney. So the category, AIPP travel category, these are entries into this category may be commissioned or self-commissioned. Travel photography involves in areas landscape, people, cultures, customs or history. It may express or reference the feeling of a time and place or simply portray a land or its people in its natural state. Photographs must be single capture images with no retouching that materially affects the authenticity of the image. Traditional adjustments for exposure, contrast and colour are allowed, as is minor cloning or removing of incidental elements within the scene. Textured layers are not permissible. In other words, it has to be real. All destinations should be considered in the light of being travel photography, even if the location in the photograph is the same as where the print judging is being held. Camera technique is considered to be important, but the judges will be paying special attention to composition, light, and camera angle, and how these portray an idea of place and time. Entries should communicate some aspect of travel, but the judges will be asked to interpret this widely. Entries into this category may include portrait, documentary, and landscape images. However, these have to reflect the sense of travel. Okay, everyone okay with that? Cool. Right, we're ready to start then. So we'll have the first print up, please.
Don't forget to ask a comment.
So do I do that or do they?
No, not until they've done their.
Do you
No,
press
you
that
do
or
that.
I do that?
Yeah.
Okay, judges, we have an average score of 76 or very close in that scoring range. Would I have a comment from a judge? Gary, thank you.
Yeah, look, I tried to find something of a story within this picture, but, you know, I was looking for something, a contrast between the modern and the sort of traditional architecture, but after that, there just wasn't a narrative there to get me across into the award range. Yeah.
Awesome, thank you very much. Okay, we have next print, please. Yeah, I'm just going to do it. Wait until they've gone up so that I. That's it. Thank you. We have a score of 75. Again, all very consistent scoring there, judges. Quick comment from Kelly.
Hang on, just 1 second, Kelly. Should be on. Just try again. Can you try again?
G'day. Sorry, everyone. Similar again. I think that just that point of interest is not there, and just the colour cast coming through that water is a bit off too.
Okay, good comments for the entrant. Thank you. Next print, please. Okay, Prince scores 79. Are you wanting to challenge Nick? No? No? Okay, no challenge there. We'll accept that score. Would you like to make a comment? Thank you, Nick.
That's okay. Very, very heavy and very sort of dark print there in terms of the shadows and the blacks there. And when you have a bright slow, I'm trying to think of maybe there's a narrative there, and it doesn't seem to. I don't seem to get the actual story there. So, just come.
Good feedback. Okay, we have the next print, please. No, it's good to, yeah. Okay, we have an average of 77. Again, very consistent scoring there, judges. Quick comment from Jackie.
Jackie, just 1 second, please. Are you on one? You're on
Same as Chloe.
okay.
Thank you. Okay, it has potential here, the beautiful lighting, but we need the narrative where they are and what they're why they're in this space.
Thank you. Next print, please. My phone will probably die at some stage if I do it, but let's just.
We can just count to 20.
You reckon? And we have an average score of 78. We do have a challenge from Kelly. No? You happy? Score? We'll accept that score, 78. Can I have a comment, please, from Phil?
Are you on 3?
One.
Who's on first? I quite enjoyed this print. I just got an 82, and I really liked the feel of it, and the little bird in the corner was just a really nice little touch.
Thank you. Okay, we'll accept that score at 78, and we will have the next print, please. 79's a review, isn't it? So I should have said that before. I should have said this will go to review.
Yes, and it's a challenge where somebody's challenging it down, we don't accept it. Usually I would just went against it. So, because we're not trying to talk prints down.
Okay. Average score of 76. Okay, does anyone have a quick comment for this print? Thank you, Gary.
Look, in terms of a sense of place, which I went looking for, everything's just tight and letterboxed and boxed in. There's this area of interest going on over on that right-hand side with the figures, but it's a little bit unresolved in terms of its context and
Awesome.
place and sense of place. Yep.
Thank you. Okay, we'll have the next print, please. Next print, please.
Because they wait for you to accept it.
No, around there. Do
Yeah,
they? Do
yes,
they?
Because they need the sticker.
Phil, your score hasn't come through. Yep. Awesome, thank you. We have a score of 82. Congratulations, Silver Award. We have a comment from someone. Who wants to comment? Gary.
Yeah, look, really well controlled. Difficult picture to do in terms of shooting into the light, but yeah, lovely tonal range too. The lovely soft mellow tones drew me with the strength in the figures. So those two things working together were enough to give me a silver. So yeah, well done.
Congratulations to the author. Next print, please. Scores, judges, please. Thank you. We have an average of 78. Can we have a comment from Jackie?
Really, a very lovely composition, but I guess the emotional impact is what's lacking in here, and maybe it's something to do with the man being more engaged or the light, or there's something missing that's pushing it into that silver range, but it's close.
Thank you very much. Next print, please. Okay, we have a score of 83, silver award. We have a comment from Phil.
Oh, yeah. I think this picture, in a way, epitomises the category that we're looking at. Travel isn't always beautiful. Sometimes your feet hurt, and you just want to sit with your back to the view and have a moment.
Okay, we'll have next print, please. Okay, we have an average of 82. Nick, would you like to make a comment? No, number one.
I'm glad you actually asked me to make a comment. I was actually trying to get your attention. You looked down, you saw me. I really feel this actually would have scored much higher if we just got rid of those ends, and just focused on the actual the red, but maybe do a square crop and just the actual red area. I think it's a beautiful print.
A couple of judges there nodding is in agreement with you. Okay, well, I'm going to have a judge change. Can I take... Who are we going to take off? Phil, can I get you to step off? And Richard, can I get you to step in, please? And we're just going to keep the judges rotated regularly just to keep them all fresh. Just Phil, and who we got? Next print, please. They've been on 12. Scores, please. Kelly, I haven't got your score, hasn't come through, and Richard. No? Oh, yep. Okay, here we go. 77 is the average score for this print. Thank you. We'll have a comment from Kelly.
I think the off to the sides where all the life and the energy and everything is just lacking, and I can't really see in there, and it's just a little bit flat and muddy, and probably paper choice as well could have been
Awesome.
improved.
Good feedback. Okay, we'll have next print, please. Nick, do you reckon? Replace him with... Okay, we have an average of 82. We have a challenge from Gary Greenwich.
Yes, I was on 88. This is really graphic and strong. I thought I was looking at an aerial once before I got up. It's just so simple. 2 tones, lines, marks, almost like marks on a map. It's a lot more than a picture in the 70s, I think. It's very graphic, very strong, with all those leading lines running us into the middle, into a sort of a state of confusion, but graphic strong. 2 tones, that's all it is.
Awesome. Okay, I'd like to ask Kelly to have a down the other end.
Yeah, I can appreciate it's a very graphic image, but I couldn't get past that. I think that's there wasn't anything else for me, and it's not actually 2 tones in some of those trunks of the trees. There's sort of some detail coming through, and then not in other places. And just the tonally, I didn't quite work for me. So I didn't quite get it into silver.
Okay. Richard, would you like to make a comment?
Yeah, I think I scored at 84. I think the graphics are very strong. It's got a remarkable amount of impact, and it's got balance all the way around, and it's a very striking piece of design, and I think it's worthy of an award.
No one else wants to talk. We'll invite Gary to write a reply.
Yeah, look, a picture can be so simple that it's almost 2 things. It doesn't have to be complex and complicated. It can be incredibly simple. You don't have to read a location. You can read a pattern or a feeling or some sky. It doesn't have to have lots and lots of things going on. So this is just another impression of a place. So try and come with me a couple of points.
Okay. Thank you, judges. Will rescore, please? Do you press that one? Press that one to rescore?
Yep.
No? Does it automatically do? Oh, right. Okay.
No, you just got to do it step when you've done that.
Okay, we've now got an average of 84. Silver award. Strong silver. And this will go to review for silver distinction. Okay. Next print, please. Okay, and we have an average of 76. Can I get Nick to make a comment, please?
It's a beautiful image, and I would just love the actual top bit, if that was actually cropped out, just to bring our attention to the actual monument or the actual building there. I felt that the wasn't necessarily needed in terms of the sky. But yeah, that's it.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to do another judge change, rotation. Gary, we're going to give you a little bit of a rest. And can I bring you in, please? Okay, next print, please. Okay, we have a challenge here. We have an average score of 78. Yep, Jackie, you're going to challenge that.
This is something that's a future for a lot of travel these days, is people with their drones in the sky engaging with themselves in a kind of way. I haven't seen a photograph made of people in the landscape being kind of disassociated from where they are. And I think this is a deliberate comment about that. And I sort of celebrated that originality at 83, and I'm asking you to come with me.
Nick, are you able to make a comment?
I can appreciate the narrative, actually, and I do actually enjoy the fact that the photographer was able to sit there and typically show what we are all about in this day and age, with our phones and our selfies. But unfortunately, for me, as an image, as a standalone image, and again, with all due respect to the author, it looks like it's just. I don't really feel that it's award worthy, other than that narrative.
Nuran, you want to make a comment?
Just I scored this one 78. It's good, beautiful image, but some of the things is fundamentals of actually seeing the people's faces in the right planes, and they disappearing from the entire image. I don't think they have that visual connection. I don't know where to look at in this image as well, and I'm happy to listen as well.
Okay, right, a reply, Jackie.
It's a kind of funny thing, but I get that feeling I don't know where to look, and that's this whole idea. They're not associated. They're not thinking about where they are and travelling and engaging in and what's there, but they're looking at themselves. And I kind of got that feeling, and that's why I awarded it at an 83. And the spaces between the people, there's something kind of perfect about that. The reds connecting, so the people are colour-wise they're connecting, and even the colour of her shoes somehow connecting with the background. And I think there's something sophisticated about it that sort of got me, and that's where it sort of sat with me at 83.
Okay, your score is locked on 83. Everyone else can rescore, please. Not quite. We have an average of 80, but by majority it is 79. It will go for review. Okay, thank you very much. Next print, please. Richard, yours. Oh, yep, here it is. Okay, we have an average of 83. Silver award. Can I get Jackie to make a comment, please?
Yeah, I scored at 83, and it celebrated fancy being in the right place at the right time with the right technique and the right print. That came together really well. Just those certain windows being lit. Well done.
Thank you very much. Next print, please. have an average of 79. We do. Yep, and we're going to have a challenge from Richard.
I scored the print 84. It's a very interesting story of a child finding stuff to do in a motorbike shop. The graphics of the motorbikes and the oils in the background, and the way the image is contained in the centre with the dark edges, and the colours of the tail lights reflected, if you like, with the colour of the little girl's pants. I think it's a very nice image. I think you should give it a few more points.
Thank you. Jackie, I'm going to ask you to comment, please.
I scored it 76. I thought there was just too much light in here, lack of control of that lighting, which we can dodge and burn and direct my eye to the little person. But I couldn't see her engaging. I'd love to, maybe she was holding a motorcycle wheel or something like that was linking her with the story. That's where I just thought it was just too busy.
We have no other comments. We'll get right a reply from Richard, please.
She might not be into motorbikes. She's simply playing in the family environment, and I think there's enough control. She is the brightest part of the image. Interest goes directly to her with a light-coloured shirt on, and there are lovely pastels all around the rest of the image, and for me it works.
Awesome. Thank you, judges. Rescore. Richard, your score is locked in. Everyone else can rescore, please. Okay, it does average out at 80, but it by majority is 79. Again, we'll have a review. We'll go to the next room for review at the end. Okay, thank you very much, judges. Next print, please. So we'll take. Okay, we have an average of 75. Nuram, would you like to make a comment, please?
It's a beautifully captured image, but to me, it's if it's tight crop, you know, like just like getting rid of the left and right side of the image, improve to another level up.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Next print, please. Just like to again acknowledge our sponsor of the travel category, Camera Electronic. Make sure you go and visit their stand out in the display area. So currently on the panel we have Kelly Tunney, who is from ACT and is a master with 2 bars. We have Jackie Rankin, who is in New Zealand. You can tell by my accent that's where I'm from too. She is a grandmaster with a bar in New Zealand. And judges' scores. Yeah. We've got scores coming through. We have an average of 83. All happy with that? Yeah, no, they don't want to. Thank you very much, judges. We'll accept that score. Thank you. And we'll have a comment from Nick.
I really wanted to see more in this image and really get a lot more narrative from it. I just felt the actual treatment of this, in my opinion, let it down. It would have actually got a lot higher. That's just me.
Thank you. Good comments there. Okay, we'll accept this print. And next print, please. Okay, this have an average of 82 and by majority 79. We do have a challenge though from which one's going to take it up?
Well, I don't mind.
Richard?
I think there's a beautiful simplicity about it and an ethereal quality, and the way it's been presented works really well. I like the diagonal pattern leading from the lower right through the image and back to the house, and that silhouette of the building really stands out beautifully, and I love the soft haze in the background. It almost gives a sense of an exotic part of the world. That's the sort of thing we romance about with travel.
Now, judges, I'm just going to get you to hold fire for a minute. We've just got a little technical error here. Can I get the print turned around blank screen, please? And while we're waiting for some assistance, can I get maybe we'll go through some of the judges and just talk a little bit about yourselves. Kelly, do you want to just introduce yourself? Because you were looking at me.
Hi. Oh, jeez, that's loud, Shireen. Thank you. Doing my job well. G'day, I'm Kelly from Canberra, ACT. I shoot weddings, a bunch of them. What do we need to know? Not my age, I'm not going to tell you that. Your awards? What awards?
Yeah.
What about other people? I don't like talking about myself. I am the current ACT Wedding Photographer of the Year. I'm the current NZIPP International Photographer of the Year.
Thank you, Kelly. Jackie, would you like to maybe have a little...
I did really well. You're going to pass me on.
Yeah, pass it on.
Hi, I'm Jackie Rankin. I am Australian, but I've been living in New Zealand now for 13, 14 years. Yeah. So I'm a Grandmaster in Australia and New Zealand. So, because I must have been an old photographer because I've been there for a long time. I entered every year. Always do that. Just come along and do my stuff. And so from all that knowledge now, we run, Mike Langford and myself run landscape photography workshops in New Zealand and internationally. And I just photograph all the things I love. Landscape and trees and grass and people. I even love people. And that's why I'm here to share with you guys. Here we go.
Awesome,
Nuran.
thank you. Thank you, Jackie. Nuran.
Hi, I'm Nuran Zorda. I'm a Sydney-based commercial photographer. And just like born and bred in Istanbul, but I'm an Armenian. Now I'm living in Sydney. It's make me very multicultural, I guess. And I mainly specialize in jewelry photography. I take photographs in the studios, but other side of me, I do conduct workshops and cultural discovery tours, combining my love of photography, history, and the philosophy all together. And just like I like to explore things, and I like to see what human created and when they've been created and all this, etc.
Thank you. Okay, guys, thank you very much, Nuran. We are back on track. So now, Richard, you made your comments. We're going to move to Kelly to make a comment. Can we have the print wrap back, please?
Yeah, tough time of day to shoot. I just the background, just and looking at it from even afar, just the burning in with the sky, especially off to the left-hand side, has just been really heavily handed. I know in tough circumstances, but yeah, for me that's why I didn't quite get it into that silver range for just that handling of those highlights specifically.
Nick, a comment from you.
Richard, I'm up there with you, so I'm very honoured to be with you in this category. Let me just say, in this particular image here, I really feel that although it's been done at a difficult time of day, I really feel that this author has actually captured this quite magnificently. I love the palette that it actually has throughout the image, and that sort of that whole sort of misty or that background, it actually lends itself to the foreground. I just really feel that this certainly deserves a silver distinction. I don't think it should just fall into 79. That's just a travesty in my opinion. So please, guys, think about the degree of difficulty and what is actually what he or she has produced from this particular image was just beautiful.
Richard, we have a right of reply. You're happy? Okay, thank you. Judges, rescore, please. You're locked in there, I think, Richard. And you've done well. It's brought it up to 84. Silver award, solid silver award. Okay, and we'll go for a review. Okay, we're just going to hold it there. Can we have a blank screen for a moment, please? We're just going to hold it there. There's going to be a PA announcement. I'll just mention my helpers around here. We've got Cherie Hammond, who's assistant panel chairing at the moment. And out the back, we have our print handlers. We've got Sam, Kenny, and John. They do a great job, so give them a round of applause. Okay, we're going to do another judge rotation. We're going to get Phil to come in for Neuron. Phil is from Launceston in Tasmania. Okay, next print, please. Hopefully. Okay.
Stumbling along.
We're getting. So this is a travel category sponsored by Camera Electronic. And we have an average score of 76. And Richard, am I able to get a comment from you, please?
The print for me doesn't have impact. I'm looking at the image and it just doesn't have a wow factor at all for me. The shapes are well crafted, but it's not really giving me any sort of message that I can relate to, apart from the fact that it's an industrial image.
Thank you. Next print, please. Okay, scores an average of 84, solid gold. Oh, solid silver, sorry. Okay, can we have a comment, please, from Jackie? What did you enjoy?
Yeah, I love this shot. I got it at 88. I wish I'd given it 89. I could have brought it up a bit higher. I just the nuance of the light coming through the window is gorgeous as it flitters across his face. Such a genuine author, a feeling of author and person here in the space. Well done.
Thank you. The print will go for review, so you never know. Okay, next print, please. Average of 80, silver award. And we're going to have a challenge from Jackie.
Sorry, I gave an 85. And every point counts. I think this is a great way of depicting all the challenges we have these days, but in a dark situation, being able to capture that man so still, shooting with very high ISOs and capturing in that one space. As I sit back here, I'm also transported into some sort of alien landscape with the eyes coming through. It's quite robotish looking, and that's a kind of lovely play of narrative, and those blue steps and the reds sort of coming in. It's quite sophisticated, and I'd like to offer you an opportunity to re-look at this and maybe bring your score up to meet mine at 85.
Okay, we're going to go to Nick for a comment, please.
Okay, Jackie.
Do you want to just let them know what you scored there, Nick?
Okay, so my score is actually 76, Jackie. So I don't know if I'll be able to get to the silver distinction range, but I can appreciate what you're suggesting here in terms of the way this looks like very alien-like, and it is a very difficult type of lighting scenario to be able to capture. But unfortunately for me, when it comes to deliberate symmetry, I even though we've got those red dots there in terms of the light, just moving your camera up or down just slightly to try to cover or do something differently with the other little that little light that protrudes from the middle one, that would actually help it a little bit as well. But again, I don't really feel that it's at that particular range for me.
Okay, Phil, would you like to have a comment?
Sure. I scored at 81, and definitely in the silver range. I was concerned about the symmetry too, but I agree with you about the light in the background, but I don't think the lights and the railing would ever line up. So that's why I placed it where I did.
Jackie, write a reply.
We're talking about a travel category here that it is in capture. It could have been made perfect, and then that wouldn't have been perfect. I think this is the imperfections making it sort of kind of like a portrait to me, where the left and the right side of our faces is never balanced, and that's what's happening here. That little energetic man is our bit of the human spirit in in this internal landscape. I think you could sit at this and look at it back here and keep looking at it, and it will stick with you, and it's not something that you will walk past so quickly. So I'm asking you to embrace the imperfections as being that perfect piece of extra thing that hooks me in, and I'm happy to go there, and I'm still at 85.
Thank you. Jackie, your score is locked. All other judges, please rescore. So a judge can challenge if their image, if their score is 5 points away from the average, and that's why Jackie chose to challenge that image. It's brought it up 3 more points. We have an average of 83, solid silver. Next print, please. Okay, we have an average of 87. But we're definitely going to have a challenge. We're going to go with Nick as challenger.
87, that's not too far off from a gold, and I'm actually asking everyone to come to gold here, because when you're looking at this image here, we often walk past and we see things on the right or the left, and sometimes we look up and we see this beautiful, whether it's a spire or whether it's a church steeple, but this is totally modern. We see these gorgeous colors coming through. I would just love to have this on my wall. I think it's the type of piece that when you put all these sort of colors across here, and my colleague at the moment just said, I know we shouldn't be comparing images, but she's watching the print at the moment, and it reminds me of one of her amazing images from last year, how wonderful that was all done. I know we're not supposed to do this, but when I'm looking at this, I really feel that when you're looking at these colors and this way it's all the juxtaposition and the way it's been cropped, it really deserves a gold. I think you guys need to really sort of look at that.
Okay, I'm going to go to, you're not alone there, Nick, so, but before we go, we're going to go to Jackie down the other end.
Yeah, I scored at 82. I guess I was looking for that imperfection, because there's kind of a tapestry of colour here that's great. I was maybe looking for a human element that was telling me about travel. I'm seeing design, I'm seeing looking up maybe in a marketplace at an artwork that somebody else has put together, and the photographer, what they brought to it was being in the right place, making the right exposure. But where's the craft and skill? Now, gold is something extra special, that a moment that can't be repeated, a fleeting point of time, where this is, I think other people, there could have been many options of this same shot, would have got the same sort of angle for me. I'm listening, I'm waiting to be emotionally impacted here, but I'm sitting there.
Phil, am I able to come to you? You're sitting very close to the average there.
And I'm conflicted. I understand what he's saying. I understand what you're saying. I'm going to get a back massage now or something. No. I really enjoyed the fact that this is travel category where you can't play around with it digitally, that it has to be seen, it has to be captured, and the photographer has done a great job of putting that together. I scored at 85, and I'm a little bit like Jackie in that I need to be convinced one way or the other, and I'm listening.
Okay, I'm going to come to Richard now, who's sitting on 92.
It is not our job to look at an image and decide that where's the human element. The photographer decided he didn't need or she didn't need a human element. This is outstanding visual communication. The second that came up, I thought, wow. The creativity in that and the colour palette, I think, is amazing. And the detail in that image is phenomenal. It exhibits a remarkable technique, and I think it's just fine the way it is. I'd like to see you give it a couple more points. Get it up to a 90.
Thank you. Nick, a right of reply, please.
I agree. There are a lot of monuments and there are a lot of locations that we go to when we travel that people photograph the same stuff again and again. And I would imagine too that there'd be other people taking this particular photograph. However, what possibly makes this stand out more than anything is the way it's been cropped, the way it's kept the detail in the highlights and in the shadow areas, the way it's been printed, and all those elements that gives you that visual impact. Even the fact that when you're looking up, literally, I would imagine this person's either broken his neck to get this image to make sure that there's no warping or there's none of these, like the gaps. It's almost like it's been perfectly symmetrical when it comes between in the middle ones there as well, in the actual lines across there. So there's a lot more thought and a lot more deliberateness in getting this to sort of appear to be a lot more of a symmetrical and a lot more of a colourful image. So yes, that's what my. So just it's Come on, just a few more points. It's 87 at the moment. I've got it at 92. Let's go for gold, guys. This is a beautiful image.
Well spoken. Thank you. Judges, rescore, please. Nick, your score's held. Not quite convincing enough, but we do have a score of 89, so it will go for review. Well done. Silver distinction. We're going to have a judge change. Just keep them rotating. Nuran, would you like to step in for Kelly, please? Next print, please. Okay, so we're going to do, if we rotate, maybe, oh no, we can't have all males on, so I might have to rotate Nick off. Rotate Nick off. Yep. Okay, judges' scores, please. We have an average of 84. Silver award. Can I have a comment from Richard?
It's beautiful, and the textures in those broken boards in the foreground are really, really great, and the lines of direction inevitably lead the eye right through to that rectangle in the background, which was obviously part of a game in a hall a long, long time ago. The colours are fantastic, and it's just beautifully done and very easy to look at. Easier said than done.
Thank you very much. Good comments there for the author. Next print, please. Travel. Okay, remind this is the travel category, sponsored by Camera Electronic for those out in our IT, what do we call it, Cyberland out there. Currently sitting on the panel, we have Nuran Zolu, Jackie Rankin, Phil Kuravita, Richard Bennett, and Nick Giannis. Always get that wrong. Okay, we have an average of 85, which is silver with distinction. Sorry, yes, Phil, you can. My apologies. My apologies. Okay, we have a challenge from Phil. Oh, hang on. Actually, no, sorry. Can you just hold fire for a minute? get? Maybe just have a word. Who hasn't spoken? You, Phil. Maybe do you like to talk a little bit about yourself?
Phil Caravetta. I'm based in Launceston in Tasmania. We ran away from Sydney to chase lifestyle, and we've managed to do that. I photograph a wide range of things: portraits, books, food, all sorts of stuff.
Can we have the print back, please? Okay, so we have an automatic challenge. This been triggered by an automatic challenge from Nick, who is on 74. We have other scores. We have 81, 92, 88, and 88. So I am going to go to Nick as the challenge, as triggering the automatic challenge first, and then we'll work our way up to others to speak.
Oh, goodness. Okay. While we had the break here, I was looking at the Gold Award standard, which basically reads Outstanding Visual Communication, Interpretation, Creativity, Emotional Impact, and Remarkable Technique. I look at that and I feel that whilst it's a lovely image, I don't necessarily feel that it has that impact. It's a great professional practice, if you want to call it that, in terms of where it's at, in my opinion. But even the composition, I struggle with the composition of this image as well. The story, I don't necessarily see the narrative or the story there. I would love to be enlightened, and I'll certainly go up if you can actually explain what that story is, and if there's anything there I'm missing. But certainly ready to hear what anyone else has to say.
Thank you. I'm going to go to Richard now, who's sitting on 81.
The reason that I scored it just in the silver range is because water is very hard stuff to sharpen, particularly backlit water. And where you use global sharpening to sharpen the main elements of a picture, if you don't look carefully at what that's doing to water in the background, you can easily end up with over-sharpened water. And I wonder whether that water is over-sharpened. That is the thing that held it back for me. And I think local sharpening would have been a better option than leaving the background water unsharpened. Otherwise, I would have scored it higher. I'd be interested in whether other judges agree with me.
Nuran, I'm going to come to you now.
And
on 88.
I'm in 88, and I'm happy to stay in the silver distinction range. And I like the narrative in there, and quite a nicely seen and captured because of that bend of the child and the basketball pole, and it's supported by nice graphic elements at the back. And silver distinction, I'm very happy where it is, but I'm happy to listen as well.
Jackie, also on 88.
Yes, on 88, and not going into the gold range that one of our colleagues has, but very close. All the elements within this frame, I think that's what has pushed me into that high silver distinction. That just that little bit of separation of the boy's shoulder from the background, and it's full of shapes and shadows and seagulls and nets and things that you can't take out, because every part of that image needs to be there to balance this wonderful composition.
Phil, I'm going to come to you now, sitting in gold at 92.
So I've got the big job. That's the whole point. Every element in that composition needs to be there. Adds a little bit of the story. It's Venice Beach. It's desolated. The kid's got a red, white, and blue basketball. There's a boat in the distance. There's a disconnect between the rich people in the boat and the archetypical black kid with a basketball in the foreground. The graphic elements are amazing. I saw it first up on the little screen here, and it's just graphics. And then when you go closer, there's more and more detail. Yes, the water is sharpened, but in the general scope of things, I think that's fine. So for me, it was a solid gold, and I would really like some of the other judges who are nearly there. They're not far off, and there's a great narrative and a great story that has been well seen, well captured. If you think about the process of playing basketball, that shape is a fleeting moment, and that shape is what hangs it all together.
Thank you, judges. I'll get everyone to rescore, please. So all judges can rescore. Yep. Yep. So currently the print is scores 80.
None of the scores have changed, so...
Oh, so they haven't reached. No, they haven't reached.
Did you hit the challenge button? Hang on.
That might help.
Okay.
That might help. Sorry, guys. So everyone has the right to rescore. Currently sitting on 85. And we have an 90 by majority gold award.
Just explain.
So this scored 90 by majority, and the reasoning for that is we had 3 judges sitting in the 90s. So well done. Good conversation there. Okay, next print, please. Scores, please, judges. Okay, we have an average of 89. Now that we have 2 possible judges, and we have Neuron is... Yep, you're happy to accept this challenge? Yeah. Go for it.
What is the score? Sorry?
The score's average of 89.
89. Oh, 1 point away from the gold. Really? I mean, let's talk about this print. This is, and this image come up first of all as a, in the distance, striking image. But when you get the closer to image, and you can see that all that sort of elements in there harmoniously so beautifully. And it is almost like can pass as a timeless piece with a little bit of different elements that actually building at the back and the motorbike on the right, camera right. But what struck me the most about this image is the moment captured and has also introduced us an amazing print like this. And I can't see any fault to go backwards to any of the in the silver range, because of what the gold represents. Gold represents it actually. Sorry, I'm going to read it. I don't remember that one. It's somewhere here. It is actually outstanding visual communication, interpretation, creativity, and emotional impact. And I think it's tick all the boxes. And more I'm looking at this image from the distance, maybe I'm thinking I underscored it. This needs to go even the gold distinction, because of color palette is beautiful. Everything works perfectly with this image. And narrative is actually here. I can see it beautiful narrative with the 2015 mark on it. I think it's perfect image. Judges, one more point away from the gold. In fact, Nora, I'm going to change my mind. Please, I can't change my score, but please go for gold with distinction. Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to go to Jack, who's sitting on 85.
I'm sitting on 85. I'm pleased you talked about that, what was meant to be in a gold, because I can now see why I didn't go to gold. For me, it was the distraction on the right-hand side of the stick coming in. I have a sense of busyness happening in the background that could have been controlled with perhaps a narrower depth of field to give me the emotion of the decisive moment, which is the pouring of water, but that doesn't really relate to the rest of the story around it. There was a sense of the print being a little bit overworked in my mind, that sort of over sharpening of soft areas, which is the mist of the fog coming through. The cropping is a little bit awkward. There was some of those things, that sense of space, there's things that are being cropped out. There was something feeling not quite right to me, and I think for a gold, everything has to feel really right. So I'm still on 85, but I'm willing to come up, and I'm listening to my fellow colleagues still.
I'm going to come to Nick to start off, and then we'll go to Phil.
You know, the actual background you're talking about, Jack, I'm going to go gold. I'm going gold with you. Don't know about gold distinction, but I'm definitely going gold. The actual background that you're talking about, if you just pretend that it's not even there, you can almost think that it's actually something of a bygone era. I love the fact that the motorbike's there. I love the fact that the background's there. It really gives the contrast from something that you would find in the desert somewhere in Bible times, but all of a sudden we've actually get into this sort of contrast of the of the industrial background and the motorbike, and I love that the way that's been interpreted. So I'll definitely go up there with you.
Phil.
I scored this in a gold already, and it was definitely the juxtaposition between the ancient picture and the modern picture clashing together that drove me up there. So I think going gold would be a good thing.
Richard, you wanting to comment? You happy to?
Yes, I'm going to go up. The so-called distractions on the upper right-hand side, that is just part of the chaos that happens in some of these camping places, and it adds authenticity in my view. The centre of attention is firmly where it's supposed to be, on the two people, and the light-coloured steam behind them isolates them, and the rest of the image is strong storytelling stuff. I really like it. I'm going up.
Nuran, right of reply.
I think everything been said, but to me is this one represents today, and that with the strong images like this in 100 years time, and we can use this image for representing our day today with the building styles and the motorbikes and all that sort of things. And also it shows that actually element in the world, how is actually changing, but some of the resistance of the cultural elements and still remaining. And this one is actually very beautiful narrative on that one. But I think you have to go gold distinction now. Thank you.
Okay, judges, we have 89. Please rescore. Well done, everyone. We have a gold award at 92. Okay, before we move to the next print, we're going to just rotate two judges. We'll bring Kelly back on for Jackie, and Gary, if you can step in for Nick, please. Next print, please. Oh, have you? Sign into. Is it all sorted? Done? Okay. Okay. Next print, please. So you've done the next print already. Okay. Kelly has replaced Jackie. Thank you, judges. We have an average score of 78. Can I have a comment from Gary? Quick comment.
Yeah, quick comment. Look, I probably would have scored a bit higher than my 76. I think it's good professional practice, but I think we have a scenario that's gritty and grungy, but the colour is kind of overpowering the scenario.
Thank you very much. Good comment for the author. Next print, please. Okay, so this is the travel category, sponsored by Camera Electronic. On the panel at the moment, we have Nuran Zulu, Kelly Tunney, Phil Kuravita, Richard Bennett, and Gary Greenwich. Scores, please, judges. And we have an average of 77. And can I go to Nuran for a quick comment, please?
I think it's like a placement of the person if moved to slightly to the center of the image, and that would have improved the entire composition.
Thank you. Next print, please. Just wondering whether, yeah, we do. And we have an average of 78. We're happy with that. Thank you very much. I'll accept that. Next print, please. Oh, sorry. Before we do that, I'll have a quick comment from Kelly.
Yeah, good initial impact. I think for me, it's just that finessing of fine details again. It's just the gradient drop off, perhaps some banding or something happening in the bottom left-hand corner. That's all.
Thank you. Good feedback. Next print, please. Nick's not here. Print scores 82, silver award. Well done. Can we have Kelly, would you like to comment?
Yeah, I gave it 83. I would have given it a lot more. There's something very Star Wars about it, and it sort of has that beautiful shape to it. I just think it's just that centre point that we're meant to be sort of looking at is just lacking. I think the subjects are way too small, but I like this line in down the middle. It reminds me of a lightsaber. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next, actually, while we just have a little break, can I bring in Nick for Richard, please? Judge change. Next print, please. Okay, judges, scores please. Just kind of trying to keep you on your toes and keep you moving. Prince scores 86, silver with distinction. Congratulations, all very consistent judging there. Nuran, would you like to make a very quick comment?
I'm very happy with where it stays, and but it's beautiful images, very nicely graphic elements, and works up very, very nicely. And I don't know how it goes to gold, but I think I'm happy with where it stays.
Thank you very much. We'll have next print, please. Print scores an average of 75. Gary, would you like a quick comment, please?
Yeah, look, I think it's an interesting travel picture, but the colour palette's unusual on their skin tones. It's almost the dominant effect of the whole picture is that blue colour palette across the whole show. So, yeah, I just think what's your colour balance with things like that? We might have got a little bit more from it there. So, yep.
Thank you, judges. Next print, please. Okay, judges, can we just have your scores, please? And Prince scores an average of 85, but by majority 84. It will go next door for review, and I'm going to ask Phil for a comment. Very quick comment, please.
I wanted this to be good when we got close, and it was nice colours, nice softness, and a constrained colour palette. I hope it does well next door.
Thank you. Can we have a blank screen, please, for a moment? Judges, can I get you to come forward a minute? We'll have the next print, please. So who are we? No rotations yet, are we? Oh, yeah, yeah. So we'll do her next, maybe? Yeah. Excuse me, panel print handlers, can I just get you to rotate the print around and just check which rotation it is? Okay, thank you. So for the benefit of the audience, the difference between elective and automatic challenges is a judge can challenge if they are 5 points away from the average score, and this is determined as an elective challenge. An automatic challenge is triggered when a judge is 10 points or more away from the average score. Print scores 81, silver award. Nick, would you like a quick comment, please?
This orientation definitely made a big difference to the image. I don't think it would have scored that if it wouldn't. So good pick up, and I enjoyed the image. I'm very comfortable for where it's at.
Thank you. And with that, we're going to have another judge change. We're going to bring Jackie on into Phil, give Phil a break. And we'll have the next print, please. Okay, we have an average of 88. And we have a challenge from Nick. Okay, so the scores you're working with here, you're sitting on 96. We have an 84, 86, 88, and 88. So very close.
Okay. I actually scored this at 96, which is basically a goal with distinction. When it's turned around, it was just already, the impact was just instant for me. Going up nice and close, the treatment of this image, the way it was actually has been printed, it's amazing. The actual shadow, where you can actually see the defining horse, and then you have like literally 3 strips, which obviously is a farm or whatever it might be. The composition and the actual symmetry of this is just sublime. I can't, it's a gold distinction, guys. That's where I'm actually at. So you tell me where you see this doesn't belong in a gold range. Give me something, but I really feel this deserves to be a gold distinction.
Okay, I'm going to go to Gary for a comment, please, on 84.
I hear what you're saying there, Nick. There is a flatness about the tonal range, a sort of a milkiness that for me contradicted slightly with the contrastiness of the figure. So I'm kind of seeing two things at once, of a very contrasty hard shadow and then a kind of a milky landscape behind. So that was messing with me. So I totally get the symmetry. Still listening.
Kelly, for a comment.
Yeah, I'm only 2 off, and I think the reason for me where I got it come a bit unstuck was that the treatment and it's well done, no doubt about it. But I can't decide whether it's bravery or it's not to be expected. I suppose the treatment and choice of black and white, and then that's what I'm not so sure about. But that could potentially be brilliant. So that's why I wanted to just acknowledge that. So maybe you can address that to get it over the line.
Jackie, you wanting to make a comment?
Well, just justifying my 86, was it there was a very tightness around these rectangular equestrian spaces. I feel that's what it is, and that's been done to an effect. I'm struggling with my eye going to the edge of frame and things almost crossing. That's what's taken me away, and I agree about that milkiness. I couldn't see how that's adding to the narrative. It was taking. I felt it wasn't good print quality, and for gold, it needs to be exceptional in all those areas.
Nick, write a reply.
If this was a sketch, which is where I'm feeling that this particular author is trying to go with, and you're having a look at this contrast of that milkiness that you basically talked about, I agree. It's actually ballsy to do this. I feel that what you do here, that those boxes within the rectangle, the tightness basically means that we're not going to go anywhere. We're looking at the symmetry here. We're looking at where is their eye going to be. And that's the composition in terms of making sure that your eye goes to the horse rider is just beautiful. And that if all the background was coming out and we've got the heavy blacks and heavy shadow areas and all that sort of stuff, all of a sudden we'll be going, I really can't see what the narrative is. It's too thick or too whatever. Here, I feel that it's been done deliberate to ensure that we get the effect that we get today. And this, I would buy this on my wall, and hopefully the author sees that I'm championing it. Maybe he can sign it for me and get it for me. I'm just kidding. Amazing image. I just love it.
We rescore, please. Nick, you're sitting on 96. Currently, the print itself is scoring 88. And it's done its job. We have a gold at 92. Well done. Good comments, judges. And I'm sure the author's very happy with that. Okay, next print, please. Travel category. Travel photography involves an area's landscape, people, cultures, customs, or history. It may express or reference the feeling of a time and place, or simply portray a land or its people in its natural state. Again, acknowledge the sponsor of the travel category, Camera Electronic. Print scores 83. Everyone happy with that? Can we have a comment from Kelly?
Just compositionally for me, I think I wanted to see where they were coming from, maybe where they're going to. It's just a little bit closed in.
Thank you very much. And so I'm going to have a judge change. Nuran, would you like to take a little break? And we're going to bring in Richard, if you'd like to step in for Nuran. We have next print, please. We have consistent scoring there, judges, at 82, silver award. Thank you. Kelly, would you like to comment? Go for it.
Oh man, the image at the top half from right across where that road is at the top, unbelievable. I just think all that foreground is a bit messy and muddy and just didn't need to be there.
Thank you. Good comments. Next print, please. Okay, print scores an average of 77. And can we have a comment on how we might get this into the next category from Jackie?
Good category. Sorry, it is about the cat. Maybe that cat just needs to be doing something else. I know. And I guess that's it. That's that humour element that maybe that's missing, that little bit of extra emotion. But nice job, though.
Okay, we're going to have another judge change. We're going to bring in Phil. Go get Kelly, just have a little break and bring in Phil, please. Next print, please. Scores, please, judges. Yeah, we have an average of 74. Can we have a comment from Gary?
Yeah, look, the windows within stories is a well-known technique for trying to piece a narrative together, but there's just not anything interesting enough happening within the window. And print quality as well has let it down, I think, in terms of the flatness. Yep.
Next print, please. Okay, print scores an average of 83. Now we do have 2 people can challenge, but we are going. Oh, so this is it's an elective. No, there is 2. Okay, yep, we're going to take a challenge from Gary.
Look, this is such a simple picture. It's just so basic, but to me it reminded me of a languid, lazy holiday somewhere, and it's full of just this tiny little bit of hope as well, with this figure on the bow looking out into the future, going somewhere. So simple, but so effective in terms of what it's saying. So the boat heading off into somewhere, off into space. Wherever that is, I don't know. But yeah, it's really subtle and soft and simple. So I was in 89 in sort of the silver distinction. So for me, it's just taking me somewhere else, somewhere quiet and empty with just the boat and our figures. So, yeah, have another look for me.
Okay, we're going to go to Richard on 76.
I scored it lower because the sea doesn't look anything like water. I mean, it's a sailing boat on the sea, but there's no indication there of the sea, really. It's just a graphic of the boat. So I scored it down because there's a certain unreality about it that didn't appeal. I could be convinced to go up a couple of points, though.
Nick, comment from you.
I scored at 84. Richard, in terms of the actual sea, this whole image has a very sort of surrealism kind of effect to it. It has that. It's meant to be. It's not meant to be literal, in my opinion. So, when I look at this, and I echo your thoughts totally, Gary, and I would possibly definitely go into the silver distinction range. But yeah, so for me, I hear you, and I'll certainly look at the.
Okay, you've got. We'll come back to you, Gary. You've got a couple close with you, so talk away.
Yeah, look, the ocean can be bright and punchy. You can have an estuary or a bay where the water can be dead still and calm, where the sky and the water don't even talk to each other. It disappears into nothingness. So you can have subtlety as well. It can be quiet and measured. So yeah, it's very, very simple picture, but it's also quite a powerful picture.
Thank you, judges. Can I get you to rescore? Gary, your score is locked on 89. Current average is sitting on 83. Good discussion. Has moved to silver with distinction on 85. Well done, judges. Next print, please. In the travel category, images are required to be of single frame captures with no retouching that materially affects the authenticity of the image. It is about the landscape, people, cultures, customs, or history of an area. And the category sponsor is Camera Electronic. Okay, this print scores 87. Now we have a 78, an 89, 85, 92, and a 90. Now we do have, is that an automatic challenge? An automatic challenge, is that signal? From Phil, sorry, I don't know, it's an elective, isn't it? Okay, it's an elective challenge from Phil. Yep.
Yep. I love the simplicity of it. I love the quiet color balance. I love the fact that this young person dressed awkwardly, standing awkwardly, is looking at neon installation that to me represents man and woman, and the person in the middle is a bit ambiguous and looks like they are contemplating a weird and maybe wonderful future that they don't quite understand. And I think to capture that in a single image with the cleanliness and the quietness about it deserves to be recognised. I scored at 92, and we're sitting on 87. I'm sure that we could get that up into the gold range.
Okay, we're going to go to Gary, sitting on 78.
Thank you for pointing those things out to me. Mine's a misread. I'm coming up with my score.
Yeah, I was on 85, and what I'd like to bring to it. She's almost plastic. The lighting on her hair comes out in a way that makes her quite an animated piece of art that's adding to this artwork. I guess we're in a gallery space, and that's what I struggled with at first, that we're celebrating somebody's art, but it's actually, I think this has made it into an even more exceptional art piece. So well done. Yeah, I'm on goal too.
Okay, right of reply. Anyone else wanting to comment? We have a right of reply from... Oh, sorry, Nick, you are wanting to comment.
Hello. Yeah, I'm definitely going to go. To be frank with you, I looked at the installations. I didn't actually pick it as a figure of a boy and a girl, or a lady and a man. It almost looks like it's been hand colored. You know, it's a black and white print with the hand color, and just everything about this now, and even putting those elements into the place, I'm definitely going higher, much higher.
Right reply from Phil.
I think my job is done. Let's do it.
Well done, judges. We have a gold award at 92. Well done. Take a breath. Take a deep breath. Okay, can we have the next print, please?
We'll do the same.
Scores, please, judges. We do need to keep it moving, everyone. I want to do justice to every print, but we do need to keep things moving. Okay, we have a average score of 84, silver award. Can I have a comment from Nick on one comment on what you might see this taking it into a silver with distinction?
I just think the timing, I just struggle with the bike right in the middle of the couple there, that's all.
Thank you. Good comment. Next print, please. Just need to pick up the pace a little bit, guys. Thank you, judges. We haven't... Gary, your score hasn't come through. We have an average of 80. Well done, silver award. We'll have a judge change. Kelly, can I get you in for Gary, please? And a comment from Nick on the print.
I enjoyed this image. I scored it as silver, and I'm very happy to where it's at. Just to do anything differently, I just would love perhaps that to burn out the little tree on the left there.
Thank you. Next print, please. Okay, we have a score of 83. And we're going to have a challenge from Nick. That's right. Yep, no, that's right. Yep. Oh, I can do that. I can do that anyway, can't I? Nick, go for 1, 2.
When this image turned, I literally had the like impact. I'm thinking, please, when I get up there, can it be exactly how I envisaged it? And you know what? A very, very difficult image to actually do when you're actually taking something from indoors, framing it within the frame, get all those highlights within those, and can be able to sort of sustain that. Get that beautiful detail of this mosque, whatever it is, up the top here. The symmetry is almost dead on. I cannot understand why I wouldn't see this in the gold distinction, into the gold range. So unless there's something glaringly obvious that I can't see there, please bring it out to me.
Jackie, we're going to come to you now, sitting on 75.
Yeah, I was a little bit confused about where to look, at the foreground, at the background. I believe it's, the architecture has been designed for us to see this view. So I couldn't see that as being gold. It's standing in the perfect space, but there's possibly an X on the floor to say stand here. I don't know. I can't assume that. But I still was not emotionally connected with it. It was just so very complicated, and the heavy nature of the blacks, the dark sky, that emotion is not coming through with this ethereal kind of building. Maybe the technique could have felt if the sky had been in the monochrome processing, it was made lighter, and there would have been separation of those symbology. I'm feeling religion, but so I'm listening. 75.
Kelly.
I'm very close to you. Very close to you. Jackie, I actually did have some sort of emotional connection to it. I think perhaps because of its religious connotations or something, but there's something quite cinematic about it, and I feel movement. It's like these little pockets of clouds left in the background it just has this movement, sort of something to it, but yet we're given something that just is so punchy, and it's black and white, and it's contrast, and it's gutsy, but you go in, and even the intricacies of what's in the bottom of the building, and whether it's the writing or whatever is actually on there is just really so clear to me, and very well done and very well handled. I'm really enjoying it as well.
Thank you. We're going to return to Nick for a right of reply, please.
So pretty much the other thing that I see here as I'm sitting here is literally, I almost see two religions here, and I look at this as being the Pope's thing on the head, and have this sort of this is the kind of image when you're looking at this and you're thinking the degree of difficulty to get all those details and have that shape of almost like Christianity and Muslims together, and it's just a beautiful hope. I just love it. I can keep on looking at that for ages. So please, it really need to consider some of the technical difficulties and how this person's really brought them out.
Thank you, judges. Nick, your score's locked at 92. All other judges can rescore, please. We have an average of 86, but by majority it scores 84. So the majority comes about by 3 judges scoring in the silver range. Thank you, judges. Well done. Silver award. Next print, please. He's only been off for a short time. He's only been off for one. Print scores an average of 75. Jackie, are you able to make a comment on how you might see this moving into the next scoring range?
See more connection with this figure and what he's doing relating to the background. A little bit more that decisive moment, something going on there.
Thank you. Good comment. Next print, please. I'd wait. I think it's not worth taking one off. So what are we doing? A break at 4:30. 4 minutes. We have an average of 83. Everyone happy with that? Thank you. Can we have a comment on how it can go into the next scoring range from Nick? Oh, no, not Nick. He's got a mouthful. Phil, have you got a comment on how you see this print could improve?
I really quite enjoyed the fact that there's something different happening in each of the boats, and then in the background there's this motorboat going past, old and the new.
Thank you very much. Okay, next print, please. Scores, please, judges. Print scores an average of 81, but by majority it's sitting on 79. And we're going to have a challenge from Kelly, who's sitting on 88. You have an 83, 78, 77 and 77 to work with.
I did push the button. G'day. Very simple. I just love the primary colours. It's so graphic, but what is the kicker for me is just that bird is just saying hello to me. It's smiling. It's just it's looking. Feels like it's just looking straight down the barrel of the camera and into my eyes. And I'm a bit scared of birds, but I just love that it's just so simple. It's printed really, really well. I love just that ever so subtle gradient of blue in the background. Look, I did score at 88, but I think it's definitely worthy of a sneaky little silver if you could go up a couple of points.
Okay, I'm going to come now to Phil for a comment, please. Sitting on 77.
Yeah, I can come up. The colour palette is there already. The fact that the bird's looking at you is good. Okay.
Comments? We'll come back to Kelly for right of reply.
Yeah, sometimes simplicity, it's hard to talk about it. You feel like you just have that urge for wanting more, and sometimes we don't need it, and I think that just has a comical element to it that I just feel like the bird is laughing at me. So not only that, it's got other fine qualities, so I think I've done enough talking.
Thank you. Judges, rescore, please. Currently sitting on 79. It was now scores 82, silver award. Oh, no. My apologies. It is that one. It is that one. No, it is. winners. No, we have a silver award at 82. Congratulations. At 4:30, we're going to take a little break, and it's important we are back here on time to ready to start again at 5 o'clock. Okay, so a 30-minute break, very quick 30-minute break.
Can I have the judges before your judges walk out, please?
Do I press?